Hello and welcome to another Nikomedia tutorial. So now it's a long time ago that I did my last tutorial, but sorry for that, but it was not possible to do something earlier. I was really busy, and then meanwhile I had a quite serious pneumonia, or yeah, some problems to my lung. But it's all okay now, and now I will continue as usual, making tutorials, answering questions, and so on. So, yeah, today we will recreate this one we see here. It's from Hussain Almossawi, and yeah, I will put the link in the description so you can visit his channel. And here's quite a lot of very interesting works here. And as you can see here, this is done in Houdini. And I want to show you how we can do this in cinema. And yeah, here is my result. So it's, yeah, I would say let's do this. Okay. Uh, for this, we need, of course, two planes or whatever. I make first a base of this whole thing, of this whole animation and everything, and then we can model some nice uh, platforms and something else, and can use this. Okay, so I start with two planes or polygons. Okay, so I put in a 10, that's nice. This a little higher, so about 70 should be fine. Make another one, control drag it down, so I make a copy of this one, bring it on the floor. This is just reset transform, so to reset the position to 0. Make it a little bigger, 150 by 150. And that's it. Okay. Now the next step is I want to create some points here. So I want to select some points on both of these plates so that we can make connections between these points here. And for this, I make this editable. So I select both and hit C on the keyboard. Now you see it's selected. Name this the top plane. And this is the bottom plane. Plane bottom. Oops. Plane top. Okay, good. And on this one, so I'm going my point mode and select some points. In the original one, I selected here so 1, 2, 3, 4, then I selected one, and here on the other side. But it really doesn't matter where I selected. In the original one, we have it more in the inside. I select here. This will look a little different than my original one, but you can do this wherever you want, so don't have to do it like this. So select these points here, make a selection text, store the selection. If you don't have it here in your toolbar, you can go to select here and store selection here. Okay, then I go to the top one, and here I make selection. Take this two here, this two. It's a little different, as I said, so not the same one, and make here a selection. Take. So now I want to make connections between our selected points here. And this I want to do with a tracer. But for this, I need some objects on my thing. So I clone some objects on our selection. So what I do is I make a cube, very small, so it doesn't weigh up. So, and drag it down here, I clone this cube. on an object, and the top object here. And here I say on vertices, and I drag in my selection tag here. So this is the first ones. Then I simply copy this cloner, point, go to the end, then I take the bottom guy here, and I use this selection here. Let's name this selection 1. So okay. Now you see, okay, and now I want to make a connection between this cube and this cube and this cube. And for this, we have to make the cloner editable. So I select both of my cloners and simply hit C on the keyboard. Now I have my cubes in here. Let's see. So, and now I want to make tracer between this. I go to here, make a tracer. First of all, I want to trace all objects here. I want to trace only the I don't want to trace all the vertices. I want to trace just the object. This should be fine. And when I go here, you see this small eyedropper. And now I want to select this cube and this cube. You see, these two. So the first ones, then the second overall cloner, the third, and so on. So let's go to the first. Let's make copies of the tracer. We need 8 tracer. So make a copy, another copy, until we go to tracer number 7. Okay, fine. So now I go to my first tracer, click on this eyedropper and take here the first one and here the first one. You see, we get our first connection here. Now deselect the eyedropper, go to the second tracer and take the second one. Yes, so second connection. And so on. Let's see, do we have to deactivate this? Yeah, of course we have to. So, okay, third tracer. Third things, it's quite faster too, so this is not really a problem. Fourth tracer, so fourth. Next one. Fifth one. 5, 5. Let's have a look. Yep, that's the right one. Next tracer. Sixth one. So 6, 6. And 7, 7. Bang, bang. And the last one. Okay, we have all our tracers now. Now, if we move the top plane here, you see, normally that does not move with it, but this is simply logical, because we have to, if we rotate this plane, we could now make here a constraint tag, so that with the plane as a parent, but we can simply put the cloners under the planes like this as a child. So then when I move the plane, you see, everything works with it. This is exactly what we want. Wonderful. So the next step is, which was a little funny to find out, how we can make this movement of the top plane here, this rotating thing here, because it's not just make it like this and rotate this then, because we cannot rotate in the heading, because then we get something totally weird here. So, and my thing for this was, so let's save this first. Save it as hydraulic, hydraulic balance tutorial. So, and whoops. So what I did here is I made this with a constraint tag, this movement. And I want to show you how I did this. So I make an rotating sphere here. So that's sphere along a circle. I simply show it. It's the easier way. So I make a circle, quite small, and drag it above here. So on the circle here, I want to move a sphere around the circle. So we make a sphere, small sphere, it's okay. And right click, align to spline, and we use this spline, circle spline. Good. And I want to animate this. So here we need 100 frames is enough here. I have 25 frames per second, so this is a 4-second animation. This should be fine. On the first frame, I make a keyframe. Then I go to the last frame, 100%, and make another keyframe. The tangential does not matter in this case. So and this we have now this movement here. And now I want to go to my top plane and give it a constraint tag. And here we have the aim. And I want to say aim the sphere here. This looks a little bit, but we need the y direction. Boing. And what we need here in the constraint, we don't want to use the heading here. Now let's see what we get. Okay, but it looks not correct at the moment because the start was not correct. So I go to the basic, I disable it for a moment, the constraint tag, bring the plane back to 0 and enable it again here. So now it should work. So now it's, I like it. And you can go with the circle here. You see, so it goes bigger. Or if you make the circle smaller, you can work with this as well. So go. I think this looks quite nice here. And so I have this movement. Now, this was not easy to find out how I could make this movement. Okay, we are done. So, but to continue my work here, I want simply for the moment I disable here again the constraint tag, bring it back to 0. So, and I activated it when I need it. Good for now. So this is this. And now we need this, whatever it's called here in between the hydraulic things here. But this we should make, where we can model some things. So like I did here a quite easy thing. This is just made in the volume builder, set some tubes and spheres and torus all in the volume builder. But we can easily model this as well. So let's make another file here. I don't know why, but in my cinema something happens. When I open a new file, it always needs some seconds until it's here. I don't know why, but anyways, okay. So what we can do, but you can use everything you want, but I make a simple, a more or less simple thing here. So let's start with a sphere here. So go to standard, make this quite small. Okay. Okay. So C to make it editable. Now I go in the polygon mode, UL for a loop selection. Select these two loops and edge mode, UL. Okay, go to the side here. I go to the front. E for the move tool, and I hold my control key and drag these edges up to somewhere like here. I just eyeball it. We can make this later a little nicer, but so T for scale. I scale this out a little bit. Another E for the move tool. Move this up a little bit. Scale this. T, scale it back. E for the move tool. Move this down. So yeah, that should be fine. So we have here something like that. No, I don't like this really. Back. So, back. Well, just underneath these guys here. So, here, do almost the same, but go to here. T for scale, make it something like that. Uh, as I said, you can't do this, of course, however you want, but I'll show you how quick you can do this. So this is really a very easy thing. Yeah, this is nice. So I have this one here. Okay, and make another one what fits in this one. So I copy this guy here simply, and I delete UL like this here, and UF for a fill selection, and this. Let's hide this one. So okay, and okay, that's fine so far. And I simply rotate this 90 degrees. Take this one. First of all, I select both and I center the axis here. So both have the axis centered. I rotate this guy here. Whoop. 180 degrees. Bring it up here a little bit. Make the whole guy a little smaller, T for scale, so that it fits into this one here. Nice. And I was in so and select both, hold the shift key and give it a bevel deformer. 5. And we have a nice thing going here. So easy. And let's make the first one here. We need a socket for this. I want to make this sockets here. And this is another easy thing. Let's go to here. Go in the edge mode here. No, this one I want. So UL select here. UF select this one, and I wanna split these polygons from the sphere here. This I do with UP. So now we have here the socket. Go in the edge mode, T for scale, hold the control key and bring this out a little bit. So, okay. Now we can make here a thicken or something else, or bring this in later in a volume builder, but the thicken would do everything we need. So this, I don't know, the thicken is since 23, but you can use a cloth as well. So this is, so put this in a thicken. Normally it's in here in this guys, but for me it's out here because I need it often. So go to, and I want it out here. Okay, let's see. Can under the thicken I steal a bevel deformer here? So, okay, nice. You see, the bevel deformer does not work here because, but we don't see this. This will be in the floor, so we just see these guys here. If you want it round here as well, so to simply put everything in a volume builder and you are done. But in this case, I go to the solid here and put this thicken in a subdivision surface. Any, so now I make it a little back 0.5. Now we have a nice socket here, which fits exactly to the thing here. Perfect. So this is our socket. Here again, I execute. And I want this executed. So here. Now it's centered. You see the thicken is here up as well. So I make this new. And even this is up here. So let's make this new. The thicken now, when I put it in here, now it's on the correct. Okay, so 2 NA NB, I want to see that. You can try if sometimes when you go to advanced you get a little different thing here, but in this case it's not, but it's okay for me. So again, drag this in here, make it solid and bring it now in a subdivision surface. And now we have the axis centered here. Okay. So everything, the axis and everything is centered. Bring everything here to the set transformation. So everything is at the 0 point here. And copy it over. Copy and paste. So Control C, Control D. I bring this in a backup folder. So this is okay. And bring a copy of all of them out. Yes. So now come out. So good. What I do now is I wanna make here. Wanna give the sphere and this sphere. The socket I don't need at the moment. But this is the top one, and this is the, I think this is the top one. We will see it. I want to name this cylinder. cylinder 1, cylinder 2. Okay. And now I wanna give this a spline wrap. I wanna wrap this along the spline as along a tracer. I put this two in a null object. I name this null object 0. This is put in this because this is to the tracer 0 and without number is 0. Click this plus 0. Okay. And give both of them a spline. Let's start with this one. Select it and oops, bring it under the deformer, hold my shift key, and I have a spline wrap now here. And I want to wrap this cylinder, also the null here, to this tracer. That looks quite funny, but we have to go. And what's very important, we don't want to fit the spline. And I see this should be the down side here. So let's go to minus, and we need it here. So let's start from 100 here. Okay, this is again wrong. So now let's continue. Okay, now this is the correct thing here. We could make this now smaller, but for now it's okay. And now I check this spline wrapper in the second one. Control for the copy, bring it down to here. And let's see what we have with this one. Bring it to 0 and 0. So, okay, press. And this is now inside here. And this should work with our thing here. Okay, this guy is no problem, so we can make this easily longer here. This should be, sorry, UL. We need it here. And drag this, simply make this longer. Okay, fine. And it does not go out. Yeah, now it's done. You see, that works perfect. It stays where it should stay. And if this is too big or so, but I think it looks quite nice. The size, I like the size. So, and sometimes when you have problems here, you see we go back here, but this does not follow. It follows after a while. It should jump to here or so. Yeah, now you see, we can try to fix this when we put all our tracer in a null. Tracer. Take all the tracer and put it in a null and bring it above our thing here. Yeah, that makes it better. Okay, quite nice. So now it's quite simple here. So we can bring this now. We make a second one here. I name this now 1. Go to the spline rips and simply put the tracer 1, null 1. So simply put it tracer 1 in this circle. And we have the second one. Love it. Yeah, let's copy this. It's 2, I don't know why it's 1.1 and not just select this. And we have the null 2, so let's bring in the tracer to the next one. 3. And select the spline webs. Oopsie. Tracer 3. Done. 4. Tracer 4. 5. Tracer 5. Tracer 6. And last but not least, 7. Tracer 7. Bang. Done. Bunch. Everything is here. Everything should work. it's great. Good. Okay. So now we can make some cosmetics, and then we make this part uh, with the sphere rolling on top of this. This is a very easy thing. But show you what we can do now with the sockets. So let's go to this here. These are all the cylinders. So let's make cylinders into here. So we have a little better overview. So that's nice. So yeah. It's great. It's working perfect. Good. The next step. Let's make a simple. Yeah, we could make the same plain bottom, and we could clone the sockets on this. Let's see if this works. We have the socket, and let's clone the socket on the plain bottom. Let's see if this works like we want. Cloner, boing, object, plain bottom, vertices. This is a little much here. First, you can disable the subdivision surface. We don't need it for the moment. And here we need this guy, boing. Then we need a transform here, 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees here. That should normally go into these things, but you don't want. It looks like it does not want, so let's copy this. Boom. One. About the cloner. Go to the cloner and put this one inside here. Nothing changes, of course. And let's see what we have here. T for scale, and let's. Oh, the scale isn't the problem. This should. I want them inside here. So let's see how we can fix this easily. Here the overlap, this is nothing what I want. Yeah, normally we could simply do this manually, but we could use point selection here. Select this point here and drag the point somewhere I like it. Something like that. But this it has to be more up as well, I think. Let's drag the whole. They are not directly on this. Let's drag the whole guy here. No, that's a little weird. But for me, it doesn't matter normally. I simply drag them around where I need them, and that's it. Here we don't see it. As I did it with the point now, then we go point mode, check. See, okay, this one is almost there where I want it. And if we put it as a division surface, it looks of course better here now. It's nicely inside the socket. And so we can do this for each one. This is not really a lot of work, so select this. When I go in the rectangle selection, so I'm sure I can get this point here. And here I do almost the same, so, oops. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's me. When I start with something like this, then I want to have it. Yeah, that's okay. And they don't overlap. That's good. Could we do this with the symmetry object? When I think about it, how to do this with a symmetry object, I'm quicker like this, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Okay. In my original one, it was a little bit little easier because I did not make the angle as big, but it looks better like this, I think. But it's most of the time the tutorial result will be is better than the original one. Yeah, of course, because I do it at least the second time. Okay. Boing. Of course, the project file is already on Patreon. And yeah, I have the Octane file on Patreon, but here it's such a simple texture thing. Just tell me on Patreon if you need a physically rendered thing. But I think not many people still render with the physical render. At least not many I know. So, oh, we are through. Okay, nice. And that's fine. So good, and I can hide the uh, planes because I don't need them. So I need the plane here because here I make a simple floor laydown. So means I make here. Let's make a cylinder. So wing. T for scale. More subdivisions here. That doesn't matter. Yeah. Bring it up to here. And so we have this. Save it. Okay. Of course, this still should work. Nice. Okay. Sorry. The next thing is let's make this rolling thing. Now for this we need first a plane. So let's do again thing. I go to the guy here to the constraint deck, disable it, bring the plane back to 0. Okay. And now I wanna bring in here a cube, and I want the cube exactly in the same position like the plane is here. So what I do is I go to my plane top here, hold the shift key, and then I bring in a cube. So yeah, a cube. So now the cube is exactly on the same position. Let's see. See, as this thing is. So 100, then 100. That's enough. So I don't need to see all this cloner here. And I want to drag. Now I can bring the cube out of the plane, so that's okay. And maybe something like that. You could do this with the sockets here as well, but it's not necessary because we go in this angle here, and so we don't see the sockets. So I'm lazy and let it like this. But you can do this task if you want. But for me, it's okay like this. Or what we could do is simply make some cutouts here with the volume builder. But yeah, as I said, for the tutorial, I leave this now, but could do the same like here. So okay, but what's more important is we need the uh, thing for the sphere here, the deepening for the sphere. What is I used simply the volume builder. So that is so what the cylinder is the floor. Okay. or the base, the floors. So this cube is the plate. And I bring this plate in a volume builder. I have here my volume builder and measure, which does everything at once. See, it makes a volume builder, puts it in the volume measure. 0.5, oops, 0.5. Okay, so far so good. And now I use a circle on the floor, make it about 50 centimeter and bring it up here. So this is a little too big. 30, just small. 40 seems to be okay. 35. Okay. Bring it almost on the top of the good, and bring it in our volume builder. Volume builder, circle. We need the density of 2 is okay. We can go more. Let's go with 5, doesn't matter. And here, let's see how big we want this. Let's try it with 10 centimeter. And of course, what we need is a subtract 5, and bring the circle up until we have this thing here. Okay, we don't need to see the plane top here. We could make it a little bigger, but plane and better, and make the circle here 7. Okay. If you want to subtract now this thing here from this deepenings, you could take all these cylinders. We don't even have to put it under it, and we can put it in here as we drag it inside here. This is not what I want. They should stay. They are not. Oops, this is not what we want. So bring it out from here. This where it does not work. I can bring a copy of them inside the measure here. Or an instance would work as well, but copy, okay, and subtract this. So now we should have the holes here in, see it? In the plane. The plane we make later editable, so we get this holes here. So, but we can make here 0.3 or so. Then we make a little smoothing on top. Yeah, now we see it nicely. Okay, this is a plane I could work with. Here we have, the look through. This is nothing we want. I can do a circle. Bring the circle up a little bit. So. Okay. And here as well, you can make this later on. You can do with this plate whatever you want. You can carve things in with the volume builder. You can add things. You can do whatever you want with this. And yeah, what I do now is I go to the volume measure and say current state to object. I have it here, but you can bring it here, you right click and current state to object here. So I have the volume builder, this is the plate now. And I disable here everything. I don't need this. I don't. And this plate, of course, we can now remesh so that we don't have such a big mesh here. So I have the remesher here. And I need then just 5 maybe. And I can say here a symmetry, the X and C. And now let's wait a little bit. It can take a little while because it's a very dense mesh. So let's see how long it takes. Shouldn't take all too long, but at the moment. Okay. Now, yeah, this is fine. I'm happy with that. Okay. And I make another current state to object. So why plane plate. Okay. And here I make a simple constraint tag to the plane top, so it moves exactly the same way like the plane top. So I go to here, make a rigging tag constraint with a parent. Okay, and the parent will be the plate top here. Rotation position should be fine. Let's see if it works. Oh, maybe I should enable this. That works. A little slow, but it works. Why does it work so slow? I could delete here everything. And now it works better. Back here. And now again I go to the top, disable it. Okay. And now we make the rolling sphere here. For this I simply make another, I make a new circle. Make a new circle. Bring it on the front. This was 35, I think, that I use. 35, not 53. Move it up. Okay. Bring in another sphere. Okay, a little bigger, maybe 10 here. 50 or so, and bring it to the new circle. Oh, it's okay, there's a new circle. Bring this line to spline, to this spline, be stuck. Okay, this is a little big. Let's see if this looks good. Okay. That should be fine. Okay. Wait. Make again on frame 0, we make position 0. On the last frame, 100. Now we need the tangential, but we cannot. No, we cannot give this tag the sphere, because the sphere has to roll, and it cannot roll when it's constrained to this tag here. So what we have to do is, I make a null object and bring the null, give the null object this thing here, In this case, we need the tangential, and I bring the sphere under the null. So that should work, yeah. But now I can tell the sphere that it should roll. So to see how it rolls, let's bring in a Shift F2. Just material. I use a normal material for now here, so, and bring it just to show it. I bring in a surface checkerboard. So let's see how this looks. Let's make it here. Oops, spherical. Okay, and let's make it one by one. Yeah, okay. And let's roll this here. It should roll. It should roll in this direction, in minus. First frame and last frame, let's say minus 1800. Looks perfect for me. This one we can, of course, hide. And so, and now we want this to rotate. So what I do here is we have the plane top here, and under the plane top I bring in this circle one, so that this circle moves with this plane. So when I bring this down to here, and now I enable this whole thing, it works perfect. So that's all, folks. Okay, and yeah, this problem here is just, yeah, let's go back to it. It should work a little better, but it doesn't matter. So when we make the animation, it does not matter. So let's render here the animation just with, I have here just the viewport render here. So, and all frames, can go here to 720 and render this. This needs seconds. Bang, 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 bang. Okay. And you see, we have here, when it's rendered normally, so just it will have no hiccup, no nothing. So this is a totally normal looping animation. So the only thing we have to do now is make, if you want, that you can make more details, and then with the volume builder here, and so on, and we can, yeah, easily. This is very easy to texture. Oh, let's do this. So let's do this. Okay, first we can do some details on the base here. So let's make here an go out of the camera, go into the camera and make it first. So no, I want the protection deck here. So I don't want to see a camera. Okay, I go to here and I make a simple cube. Quiet. It's cube, cubic one is enough. Make another one of these and rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, then I bring everything here in the volume builder, volume measure. Whoop, 0.5 is fine. These two cubes as well. Set it to subtract. And we have our first details here. And then, what can we do? Let's make window here. Give it lots of, so that it doesn't matter. And subtract this from here. See, so quick it can go. So this is, you can play so nicely with this volume builder. We can even go to the base here. This out. In these, so I don't need. Let's make it editable. C on the keyboard. Yes, T for scale. With my control key, drag it a little out. Makes it even more interesting. Look at this. No, that looks much better. But now we should make the things a little bigger here. And the cubes. So, okay. Here on the plane we could plate here we could add something, but when you do something on the plate, don't forget first to disable here on the plane top, disable here the constraint tag here and bring it back to 0. So now you can work on the plane, and then you on the plate. I mean, let's bring it in the volume builder. Volume measure. So boing. Why is it down? Good. Then go back. Wait, and then make a volume measure, volume builder without anything. And check the plate then inside. Then it works. Okay. 0.5. So, and what can we do here? So, let's add a sphere on this whole thing. So, 100. T for scale. Bring the sphere into it here. So, and add it to our thing here. So we have nice detail. We don't want to see it down here, so then we make a cube. Set the cube to subtract. We will see nothing. Oops. Cube and magic. Fine. 1.3 maybe. And the slide smoothing on top of it with 1. And so on. So you can do whatever you want with this, as I said. So now, when I make a current state to object here, I have the volume measure. And let's hide this guy here. NB, that's what I want to see. Then you see this is very high detailed here. We can remesh this again. Save it and remesh it. And that needs a little bit again, so that's 5. Here again we can make the symmetry. Rate current state to object. Bye-bye. And of course now I need the constraint tag here and drag it simply on the new one. On the new plate here. This is my new plate. So this is hidden. And now with my new plate, this should work as well. So we can enable this again. And let's see if this works. It works. So we can delete this here, the whole volume measure thing. We could here remesh this as well, but it's not really necessary. Only thing what I want here is a little smoothing here. Not too much. But that looks not bad, and in the middle we lost this. But yeah, why not? It's the cylinder I go all the way through, so looks better, I think. Save it. Why not? Looks nice. Okay, and so we are done, more than less. No, more than less, we are done. Save. NA. Run it. And it works perfect. Good. Yeah, now the texturing is so easy. Yeah, I make it in Octane, but it's not really necessary to texture this now. Let's make it shorter. The textured file you have already on Patreon. So if you go to Patreon, you get this one here. And if you need it in for physical render as well, just let me know and I will make a physical render version as well and put it on Patreon. But I think for the tutorial, that is really all we need here. So every other thing is just make materials, simple materials, and even just with a cubic mapping and you are done. So it's too easy to do. Okay. Should I do it like this or should I texture it? No, I don't texture it. I think it's not necessary. Okay. Yeah, that's the tutorial now, and I hope you like this one. And now in future you can count with more tutorials again. As I said, I was really busy and I had a lot to do and yeah, that's busy. And I was not healthy enough to do something here on the computer. And yeah, but I feel really well again and everything is fine. And yeah, so let's continue as it was. If you have questions, complaints, requests, whatever, please let me know in the comments or on our Facebook group, on my Facebook site, on my homepage, on Patreon, wherever you want. And thanks so much to all my support, especially to the patrons. I really appreciate it. So the patrons are great. And yeah, and patrons they help to do the tutorials because so I can say to some jobs, no, I prefer the tutorial because of my patrons and the patrons they subscribe, they pay for it, so they should get something. And yeah, that's it. And yeah, thanks of course for subscribing to my YouTube channel as well. That's great too. So there's yeah, I cannot say thanks enough. Good. That's it. The next tutorial I will try to make on weekend. And yeah, it depends on how much party it is, because a friend of mine's as a relationship that he has his 100th birthday, and this has to be celebrated, of course, and we will see how this works. And yeah, I will do some music and play a little guitar or keyboards or something else. Will be nice. And yeah, again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And that's it for now. I wish you all the best, and yeah, all the best here from Austria, Vienna. Tschüss und Baba.